Hey, Spaz,
What?
can you stop making us late?
I know.
This is a professional freaking podcast, by the way. Oh, we're live. Crap.
Yeah, where's the professionals? There
What?
ain't none in this room.
What is going on, everyone? I need to change something because someone changed it back. But what is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Voice of College Football's Oregon Ducks Live, right here on the Oregon channel. Let me go ahead and change this down to something a little better. I'll take that. That's fine.
Episode 1 of 2025.
It
Season.
feels like it.
Technically, because it's the beginning of spring practice. So we're now technically into the 2025 college football season.
That is true. And technically, it's technically the third practice, but they had like a break.
Well, yeah, but I
So-
mean it's our first official
Okay.
show of the season.
That's fair. I don't like that green. There we go. That's better. That other one was hideous. That one was hideous. Look at Jackson doing look at Jackson doing God's work in the background. The one thing I forgot to change in the background was the color code. 154733. Oh, nice. He has way too many. Yeah, that'll do. That's a nice shade of green. Kind of Michigan Statey though. We're going to talk about them here in a little bit. By the way, that's called foreshadowing.
It needs to be a little. Needs to be a little.
Little green, little brighter, maybe.
Yeah,
that's all right. We'll run with that for now. So how you doing, Spaz?
Fantastic. I'm recuperated from my birthday and now on to bigger and better things.
That's right. This room looks like a war zone behind me as we're moving next week. So little by little, all the things
again.
Like people move, Spaz.
Yeah, you two move more like you change underwear. Like once a year.
Are you complaining about people changing their underwear a lot?
Well, I mean, you should change them more than once a year. Just saying. Get kind of ripe down there.
Okay. Oh, by the way, too, every time before we get into anything tonight, please do consider hitting the like button down below. It's free, takes a second, helps promote the channel and support us a lot. We appreciate it. And if you so do consider, for whatever reason, subscribing to this channel, that is greatly appreciated also. Thank you.
We do take donations too at Voice of College Football.
That is true. Those are also very appreciated.
These people are probably going to be more like the Hardys. Delete.
We're just going to
seeing us.
We're going to purge money somehow.
That sweet Oregon money. Hey, if we win the Natty this year, it's going to be sweet. It better be some sweet Oregon money coming our way. Because we put our work in the last few years.
We were the only 13-0 team this last year.
That's right. Damn it. Where's our respect?
Yeah. Well, then we went to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Anyways, 2024 is behind us.
That's right. Damn it.
But Spaz, we have some topics to talk about. I know it was like, hey,
fuck Ohio State.
I said nothing. I don't disagree, but I didn't say
number 1 on the year of many.
So Spaz, there's some other interesting news though. As we get into the topics of tonight, I kind of thought it'd be a little interesting, kind of go over and talk about maybe rant and rave. Gives me some video cuts to do.
Okay.
You may or may not have heard that a certain coach has joined the highest ranking paid coaches in the FBS as of this week.
Oh, yeah. Is his name Prime Time?
It might be. He's known by many names. As Colorado cements Deion Sanders for 5 years, I believe it's $54 million. Basically over $10 million a year, making him the fourth or fifth, top four or top five highest paid coaches in college football.
He ain't being Dan yet, so he's got work to do.
Well, yes. But there has been a lot of critiquing because obviously a lot of people don't like Deion for obvious reasons. Some people have it; they're out of their minds for the reason people don't like Deion. A lot of people just don't like the way he's building the program, right now. But is he worth over $10 million a year right now?
I wouldn't have given him that much, but he was already getting what, 7.5.
He was up there. I mean, definitely at least 6. Definitely. I don't have his initial contract in front of me, but I mean, last year was their best year by far.
Dude.
And then they still got obliterated by BYU in the bowl game.
Well, my thing is, what are they going to do this year to follow up from last year?
That's
because they got no quarterback now.
That's the biggest question marks is, okay, you started progress the first couple of years. Now what are you going to do? Now that Shador and especially like Hunter are gone, what are you going to do? So that's a very I think Caden Salter will start, transfer from Liberty. He'll start, but will he finish the season? I don't know. So
didn't they pick up a highly ranked recruit?
Yes, his name is escaping me right now, but that's why I think Caden Salter will probably start, but they'll probably transition him in, kind of maybe throughout the year, depending on how Salter does, of course. If Salter's amazing, don't screw with it. But in all fairness, too, when you look at it, because Deion's done nothing overall spectacular win-wise at Colorado, the way he's built the program, I mean, you can't doubt that he's brought more popularity and fandom to Colorado.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And ticket sales, media, all that stuff. So at the same time, while he's not in the fan club, the ballpark club of, so to say, the highest top coaches, which are notably Dabo Sweeney, Ryan Day, Brian Kelly is, I think he's at like 9.9 million. I don't know why I didn't just make him 10 million, but close enough. And Kirby Smart and now Dan Lanning. Deion's never won a conference title at the division, like at the FBS level, anyways. So kind of interesting, but I think the fandom that he brought to Colorado and the spark for the fan base, I can see why it's kind of deserved. Plus, he flirted with the Cowboys already this offseason.
Yeah.
But his buyout's not crazy. I think his buyout after like next year is only like $20 million. It's not that much. 10 to 20, something like that. It's not even that much.
No.
So,
but if you're Dan Lanning, you've got a huge buyout.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've upped this contract twice in 2 years. So, yeah.
And you want talk about imploding programs.
Oh, I didn't have this on my radar, but
Well,
let's talk
I
about
mean,
imploding programs. Let's do it. Let's do it.
imploding programs in all sports. Texas A&M. They had to bring in Mike Elko.
Yeah.
And he didn't do so hot. And then their basketball coach says, I'm going to Maryland because A&M won't give me enough funding for my NIL program. But Maryland's going to give me more.
Which is funny because I have heard complaints that Maryland doesn't have their NIL together for basketball.
Baffled. I'm going to leave Texas A&M to go to Maryland because A&M won't give me enough NIL money for my basketball program.
That's okay. That is pretty bizarre. Yeah, that's all I've heard this like the last week and a half is bitching about Maryland basketball.
And then they're like, oh well, we're gonna go get this guy, Chris Beard from Ole Miss, and he says, yeah, no thanks, I'm staying at Ole Miss.
Is this the finally the effects of having to out Jimbo Fisher?
Yeah, something, because they can't get anybody now in any of their programs. Their women's coach quit. Men's basketball coach left. Their football program's losing guys left and right.
And that's not Elko's fault. Elko is put in a situation, and he did okay for year one. He was all right. Elko was fine, and it's not his fault. But it is surprising, not even just with A&M, how many other, or like the Maryland having problems. How many other basketball teams I've heard where they're literally like, we don't know if we can pay the coach for the whole contract. We're just gonna wing it, and we'll hopefully boost the money in a couple of years to finish off the contract.
Yeah, right.
I think it's an effective NIL and all that. It's I think you're starting to slowly see cracks in the repercussions of some of this stuff. And we haven't even gotten into the whole April 7th verdict, coming for the every time I think of this, I cannot think of what it is. Everyone gets paid.
I don't know.
Chad, help me out. Help me out. I did this again on Sunday night. I was like, I could not think of what it was. The money distribution, basically.
Oh.
The verdict, the final ruling is on April 7th, and that's going to change everything again, where every team has to like commit like $20 million or something, so
right.
Or every team gets to distribute, however that works. We're going to find out, because right now I don't think anyone really knows, but we know that's mostly football.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see
in June regarding that. I have no idea what's happening in June about that. Trojan. I think literally the verdict is supposed to come out, I believe, April 7th. And I don't know, maybe in June that's when it's supposed to start, or they'll final the details conference. What I'm not sure. Actually, I haven't heard anything about June. I need to look more into it. But it's going to change a lot of things all around. So it's going to be it's going to be interesting times, so to say, as the sport continues to transition. Hey, Spaz.
Yeah.
Do you want some good news? Or some fun news? Some fun news. Have you ever wanted to go to a football game and just enjoy free food and drinks?
Yeah.
Well, then, sir, you need to become a Coastal Carolina fan. Because Coastal Carolina this season for football, as long as you buy a football ticket, you will be getting free concessions for the Chanticleers. That will include hot dogs, popcorn, nachos, and fountain drinks. Unlimited.
Wow.
Unlimited. 4 items, as I heard correctly, 4 items per trip. Unlimited throughout the game. All you have to do is scan basically a QR code from their app so they can track when you go. But that's it. It's free.
Well, some bitch.
Not a
If
bad
they
idea.
did that at more universities, they'd get a lot of people, get a lot of students to show up.
Well, yeah. That's kind of what the thought I think is that, I mean, one, hot dogs, nachos, and pop. That's the cheapest things on the menu.
Right.
I mean, yes, you bring in revenue from them, but giving them away, like, who cares? That's some of the cheapest things ever. The most expensive thing on there is literally the hot dogs. But unlimited throughout the game? I'm guessing they're thinking that if you have the app, when you bring in people, so football tickets, not that many people are just going to like gorge on stadium food. But because they have an app and they can track, they can also then send you advertisements, and maybe you'll make other purchases through that somehow. And
yeah,
so it's kind of like a revenue generator also, maybe to make up for that. Trust me, stadium food, ooh, yeah, even one person can blow easily like $50.
Oh, easy.
On 2 or 3 beers and like a hot dog, if not more, depending on where you go, what stadium it is.
Like in Eugene, if I went and got 2 beers and 2 hot dogs and like 2 sodas, that would be right around $50.
I don't doubt it. Like a Texas Tech,
You can get the canned beers, the 16 ounces for like $10 at a season ticket deal, and then you can go to the concession and get hot dogs for I think $7.50, and then sodas, the biggest soda for like $7.50.
Damn.
And I think you get one refill. I don't remember.
I see. That's it. I was like, at Texas Tech, I think, I mean, just for myself, I mean, I bought a few other beers for Sam and stuff, but for myself, I think 3 or 4 beers and like a hot dog, it was at least like $45-$50.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they're probably not in the highest price that you can get at some stadiums. Every stadium's going to vary. So, point is, yeah, shout out Coastal. Hey, not a bad idea. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it works. Let's see if they lose money or something like that, and they go screw it and scrap it, or if they keep it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But not. I mean, they've looked into it obviously, and they feel that it's worthwhile to try it. So, hey, if it brings in some extra fans or just viewers, and they're again the app and sending promotions works, hey, good on them. Good on them.
Yeah. Also,
what's that?
You know what's coming up next week?
No. What's next week?
April 10th.
April 10th.
Through the 12th. In Eugene, Oregon. It's the Oregon Football Coaches Clinic.
Oh, okay.
Featuring Dan Lanning, and the Oregon coaching staff. NFL head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Mike McDonald, and former Stanford quarterback Davis Webb, among others.
Did you say Stanford quarterback Davis Webb?
I think so.
You did. You mean California?
Was it Cal?
Yeah, it was Cal. Under Sonny Dykes, Davis Webb.
Okay.
That's when you said it, I was like, Andrew Luck? And you're like, Davis Webb. And I was like, Davis? Wait, what? It's like Davis Webb didn't go to Stanford.
And many of your fine Oregon coaches right there.
That's right. I forgot
All
about
of them.
I forgot about the coaching clinic. I did forget about that.
Yeah.
They advertised that a while back. That's why I forgot about it. It's been a while since I heard about it. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Well, Spaz, do you know something else that maybe you've forgotten about?
What's that?
Did you know that apparently there is a
Allegedly
former Big Ten coach that's gone missing?
Jonathan Smith?
Former Big Ten.
Oh.
Literally, he's gone
Yeah.
missing. Gone missing. Apparently, no one knows where he is.
Who went fishing where?
It's hard to explain. This man was a Big Ten coach, and then apparently he made a phone call and did some extracurricular activities while on the phone call.
Oh, Mel Stewart or whatever his name is. The former Michigan State.
Close enough. Mel Tucker is apparently missing.
Oh no.
The news is, at least as up to this moment, as far as I'm aware, he's not been located. As of literally the last 12 hours, he's still not been located. So,
wow.
Everyone who remembers shady hand Mel Tucker.
Shady Tucker. That's right.
After those allegations that got him fired, we need to be careful on this topic because he's never been actually proven guilty of anything. There's still technically allegations,
right?
So you don't want to get we don't make enough Oregon money to get sued for slander. So the whole point is, the story is that after those came out, obviously, Michigan State fired him. Then his wife divorced him. And since then, apparently no one's seen him. And that has been what? That's been over a year, hasn't it? Year and a half?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Year and a half,
Close
basically.
To 2 years.
So the complainant of the mispractice by Mr. Tucker, apparently they tried to serve the lawsuit paperwork. And that's when they realized that no one had seen him. His wife and ex-mother-in-law or whatever had not seen him since the divorce following that. And apparently they don't know where to find him.
Oh shit.
Apparently. Again, this is what I've seen. I don't know if it's true, but it's funny. It's sad too. We're just talking about handy, shifty Mel Tucker here. For no reason at all. But yeah, so that's the story. Apparently.
So that is Mark, right? Or is that Jackson?
I don't
on
know.
Mark's account.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's Mark.
He's a stand-up guy. Stand-up guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the story. Is he has not been well, at least his ex-wife and ex-mother-in-law they have not heard from him, seen him, or don't know anything
They have
about
no
where he
clue
is.
what happened to him.
No one knows where he is.
Since
Which
how
is
long?
again, since right after the divorce. They moved into the house and stayed, and he apparently just disappeared.
Is somebody messing with us?
I don't know. I'm really not paying that much attention to it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. I told you stop reading the chat so many times because this is what happens. But yeah, so I thought that would be kind of an interesting little tidbit for the Big Ten for former coaches because once again, hopefully nothing bad has happened to Mel Tucker. Hopefully nothing bad has happened. Everything's alleged against him. But yeah.
So I have some good news.
About Mel Tucker?
From first day of spring practice. A little bit of news. Not a lot, but just a little.
Okay.
There's a couple quotes courtesy of our good friend Max Torres at Max Torres Sports and On 3. He was talking with Bryce Betcher yesterday, and he asked him, basically about what brought him to returning to play football. And he says, I love my Ducks. I love my hometown. And if I had another year of eligibility and didn't use it, I feel like I would have regretted that down the road. Nowadays in college football, it's oftentimes beneficial to do that. So that's why I did it.
Yeah. That's what I've heard too. Before right before the offseason or right after the offseason too, when asked why he was going to come back, I wanted to, and he said, I want 1 year of just football. He's not focusing on baseball also. So he can actually just work on football. And even Dan Lanning said yesterday in their post-spring press conference that they did, they asked him about Betcher and what he's doing to, improve, so to say. And Lanning said, hey, now he doesn't have to worry about baseball. So now he can actually work on speed, gaining weight, and lifting because it's so different between football and baseball, the regiment and all that. So he can actually focus on being a linebacker.
Max later asked him a little bit about any particular guys standing out to him yet this year. And he said, a little early today was first day of pads, so it's really hard to tell. But Theinman, just the way, not even football, the way he goes about his work, whether it's getting treatment, watching film, or he's incredible. Iffy, also, he was here last year, but he's been a freak, and I like the way he brings it every single day at practice, and he's impressive. Bear has attacked everything, and the way he gets off the line of scrimmage is just impressive.
Yeah, I've heard some good compliments about it. I mean, a lot of. You want to just get into? We'll just jump into. I'll skip a couple topics, 1 or 2 topics here, and we'll just jump straight into the potentially the most underrated players.
Literally, that's like all I've gotten much so far.
Oh yeah, no, I
haven't subscribed to anything yet for this season, Scoop Duck or anything. So I'm hoping maybe this channel will help us out so I can, get a couple of other subscriptions going so I can get some more in-depth intel going. And hopefully by June, July, I'll know about media credentials. If that happens, I'll be able to be at some fall practices. I'll be able to get some in-depth, learn from some of the guys like Max and James Crepia and Spencer when he's in, and just kind of get around the guys that have been doing the Oregon media and learn how to present it and pick up what they're what they're laying down because of their experience and learning from that moving forward.
Yeah, and well, like we said, that's a whole different experience, and so it would be really cool to get in there, and we're gonna be, because I said right now we're kind of a little bit on the outside. I had no idea, Trojan. Something just changed with media practices. Basically, not a lot of practices now that I've heard. Now, is it spring practices or are we talking fall practices? And when for Ducks or just in general, or for Trojans, as every team and coach are different.
Well, I know Dan doesn't necessarily let people in the practices, but they do have media scrums after practices outside.
Yeah.
And whatnot, and you can talk to the guys, and occasionally some of the coaches. I don't think a lot of. Yeah, I don't know.
But now, if it's at practices, it may be because I think before they were like, sometimes they'd be in there for like
10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, 10 or 15 minutes of the practice.
He never got a lot of time.
Yeah, so maybe now he's like closing it off a little more, which isn't unheard of. Chip Kelly had all of his practices were shut down, were closed. No one was allowed in any of those. So that's not unheard of. There are a lot of coaches that do that. So maybe it will be something new. I'll have to look into that and see, because I haven't specifically heard about it, but I wasn't thinking about practices at this moment. Well, Spaz, thinking about that though, talking about Betcher, obviously Bear Alexander's a big one. Thieneman's a big one. But of the actual Oregon players like that have been there, who maybe going into the spring are we thinking maybe is the most kind of underrated? Someone, not the typical, not the Dante Moore, not the, DeCorian Moores, not the Evan Stewarts.
I'm looking at guys like Dakota Fields and Iffy, because I was at last year's spring game, and those two guys really stood out in the spring game last year. And then both of them kind of got dinged up. I think Dakota, I believe, got dinged up in the spring game. But he was having a phenomenal spring game, had an interception, broke up a couple of passes early on, was sticking on the receivers. And Iffy got some good snaps as well, and was just playing some solid corner safety work. I think those guys defensively, on the defensive side, are two of the guys that I could see maybe making some jump in spring ball. Even Betcher talked a little bit about Iffy. But offensive wise, I want to see the running back room. I want to see what I mean. We literally could have a 3-back legitimate core of guys that any three could come in at any time and give us 100 yards a game.
Yeah.
So that's a little different than Oregon's had in years past.
Well, and fair that you said that, because like DB room, the options are endless with the defensive backs. There are so many in there. Plus, but a lot of them are freshmen, like brand new, but highly recruited guys. But we have all those guys from last year, Aaron Flowers, and others like you just talked about. That we don't know who is going to really step up and stand out. But you just said running back, because that was one of mine. Was I want to see if Riggs can become like basically like the 2B, if not number 3, kind of running back, because you've got Hughes. He's projected the number 1. Obviously, Whittington will be number 2. Could you imagine putting a guy like Riggs as number 3? This would remind me of Bucky. This would remind me of Irving, Whittington, and then when James was the third down or goal line back, where you have that bruiser on the goal line.
You also got
Jay Harris and Lamar.
Yeah, Jaden Lamar.
Yeah. They have running backs. There's not a question there. I mean, you have
No,
options.
we have 3, 4, 5 backs that can easily carry the load. So if one guy goes down or whatnot, we're not limited. And I really think the key this year is going to be it is just going to be spreading the snaps if possible a little bit more on both sides of the ball, because by the time we got 13-0 and got to that Rose Bowl game, there were guys you saw it very easily. Jordan James was 70% maybe in that game. A couple other guys, Muhammad could not even play, or not Muhammad. Who was the receiver? Stewart.
Stewart, yeah.
That didn't even play. We had, by the time we got through that rugged Big Ten schedule, undefeated, number one in the country for the last 8-9 weeks, we're banged up in some key areas and didn't have the depth in those areas that we do this year. This year, receiver room, deep.
Ooh.
Quarterback room, deep. Wide receiver room, deep. Tight end room, deep. Areas that hurt us when it came to the Rose Bowl, offensively wise and such, we filled. Now the issue is going to be, can this offensive line come together like last year's did? Because you got a couple of holes now that you've filled with Cornelius and Connerly gone.
Thank you.
Had to think. So yeah, it's like there's some holes to fill. There's some questions. I think your most worrisome issue is probably going to be more towards the offensive line. The rest of your offensive unit, I really don't think you've got anything to worry about. And defensive wise, your linebacker with Betcher coming back, and the defensive line with Mateo and those guys, and some of the guys that played last year, you're pretty solid. And your secondary and corners and safeties are in way much better condition shape than what you were sitting last year.
Yeah, I think the offensive line is definitely the one to watch. Just kind of like last year. Last year, we didn't expect to have the struggles that we did, obviously, the first couple of games. I think that there's been a lesson learned there. Stop moving Poncho out of center, number one.
Yeah, I think you're going to have center and Aluli, Dave Aluli, I think will probably be right guard.
Yeah, and they're still figuring that out. The projections I've seen have been kind of all over the place, especially for who's the starters. Worlds will be a starter. Yeah, definitely for sure. Pregnon should be a starter coming in. Is very experienced. Just where to put him exactly.
Right, and you have Iuli and Poncho from last year, so
the line should be okay. But yeah, how does it come together? Receiver wise, yeah, the receiving core is stupidly deep now. Because again, the other breakout player, or underrated rather, not breakout, but underrated, was going to be Justice Lowe. But the craziest part about Justice Lowe is he might not even see the field hardly this year again. There's so many damn receivers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the portal closes what, like a day or two before the spring game?
The day before, the 25th.
So, I mean, it would not surprise me if we saw a receiver, maybe a running back, maybe even somebody from that quarterback depth room, depending on, if they've heard any more buzz, if that thought is in there that Johnny Curtis is
Jared Curtis.
or Jared Curtis is
Johnny Curtis.
I don't know where I got
Close enough.
Yeah. But if there's a lot of thought that he's for sure going to come, or they have a really good feeling that he's going to come, somebody in that quarterback room could be like, yeah, I might want to look for some playing time elsewhere because it's getting a little cluttered in here.
Well, and I'm going to bring him up a little bit later. We got off out of order here. It would have been already talked about, but we got out of order. But yeah, with I don't doubt it. And we talked about it briefly last week, and it was brought up, hey, because the spring game is the day after the transfer portal, there can maybe be a waiver initiated to allow them to answer the transfer portal. But I don't know how likely that is. But at the same time, yeah, you don't know. I expect we will lose a few guys, but yeah, I don't know how
then
that
again,
affects.
who knows?
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how that affects with the timeline.
You may not lose anybody.
Maybe. I mean,
but
well, and that's fair in the quarterback room, especially. The one thing is that,
go, oh my God, he left.
Well, yeah, it happens. Every team, it happens, no matter what. And one thing, like Dan Lane did this last year, that was very smart, and it was strategic and maximized, was he kept a red shirt for Dante Moore and Novosad by alternating them in games, so they could keep a red shirt.
Yep.
So they didn't burn a year last year
on either one of them.
Yeah. So that was smart thinking in that part. Okay. Well, since you brought that up, let's transition quick into this. We'll roll with it because as you were talking about, as a
2 seconds.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it. All right. Well, we'll go into this. So Jared Curtis has made his commitment announcement official on May 5th this year, next month, basically. Oregon or Georgia, that's known. Talked about it last week. Nothing need to go into that a whole lot deeper. But the question is, because he pushed the commitment to Oregon or Georgia back to May 5th, that brought up a lot of speculation as of, is he going to be at each spring game, Georgia's and Oregon's? And the answer I pretty much feel is yes. He's going to try to go to each spring game for Georgia and Oregon and see it in person.
Yeah.
Now, will that be a deciding factor? Maybe, maybe not. I think he just wants another visit each to each. Are you
kidding me? I missed it again.
Yes, you missed something. But yeah, so the thing with it is it's Oregon, Georgia. He's going to probably go to the spitting games for each. One of the big things that was asked is like, is this also a decision to wait to see if each team's pushing NIL money? Is this coming down to, the bills, so to say? Spaz is so distracted. This is ruining his cut for this video. Scrap the Jared Curtis cut. But yeah, no, it's an interesting topic because it's 50-50. It's literally one or the other.
Yeah, we don't know where Jared Curtis is going to go. Fuck off, Megan. You're not helping. Yeah, I think in the end run, I just have this sneaking suspicion that based on what they did with Dante, I think Jared Curtis is going to see that. And in the end run, go, you know what? If I go out there, they're going to let me redshirt. They're going to let me learn. They're going to let me sit back for a year and see how things work and run the system. And then, instead of just throwing me into the dogs, you throw him at Georgia into the SEC as a freshman. Here you go. I don't think that's fair.
Well, and I'm going to be honest. I don't know Georgia's quarterback room situation outside of really Gunnar Stockton. I should look. Oregon's going to be loaded at quarterback too. We already are, and you got Keely Smith. So, there is a lot of that, and Oregon's still kind of pushing for Rider Lions too, potentially for 27. So I mean,
Keely will still get one or two.
Well, for this year he should be a red shirt.
Yeah, he'll be a red shirt this year.
Yeah,
so
this year
he'll be able to start next year at least.
Yeah,
if not a second year, and then you can a guy like Curtis can come in as a sophomore or a junior as a sophomore.
Yeah, and again, then you still have Novosad somewhere in that equation potentially. But if he's not starting this year, he'll transfer out for like his. I think he still have 2 years eligibility after this year if he transfers.
Yeah, I think
he still have 2. So, and then does Dante only play 1 or 2? It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act here. Where does Moga stay? Who knows? It's my head hurts trying to like line up all the potential possibilities with these quarterbacks. But hey, we haven't had this problem in a while, so it's nice to actually go, hey, we have options. Kind of nice. I am looking forward to seeing Keely Smith in the spring game, though. I want to see him at least get a few throws.
Sorry, I'm getting messaged about doing another show as well. And it's like, wow.
Oh, okay.
They want me to do an NFL draft with them. And it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, we'll have to have a NFL draft special. Following the draft, obviously. Not live every day. I'm not sitting here for 6 hours. Megan doesn't realize I run the Oregon Voice of College Football chat, so that's right. It's like I run it, or I am running it currently. All right.
Yeah, I don't see Dante only going 1. I see him going 2, unless he now if he goes out and wins the Heisman and Oregon wins the Natty this year.
Well, that's a different topic. Yes, if he throws for if he throws for like 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 8 picks, and wins the Heisman or something, then he might be like, I'm out. Cool.
But if Oregon goes 8-5, 9-4, and he has one of these years, he's probably going to come back.
Yeah. It definitely depends on the season he has, because right now he doesn't have much to fall back on other than his high school ranking. Right now,
yeah.
So he would have to be like,
because his stats were atrocious at UCLA.
He would have to he'd have to put up Mariota numbers. In 2014. I don't remember Mariota's at the top of my head. It was like 4,500, 42, and 3.
I think 3 interceptions or something.
Yeah, like 42 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, something like that, and like 600 yards rushing. Yeah. And he doesn't run the ball. Dante's not like a runner. So, like Mariota was. So yeah, he would have to put up some crazy numbers. So I expect him 2 years. For 2 years. Well, Spaz,
He was
you
focused
weren't
on
you weren't there to discuss on Sunday night because you are a quitter for the After Dark show.
I've been there like a month, I know.
Yeah, I know you're a quitter. So we wanted to we talked about it, me and Jackson, that Stanford had fired Troy Taylor, or rather, general manager Andrew Luck fired Troy Taylor.
See, these guys, why?
However the hell that worked out exactly. So we wanted to look at really briefly when Spaz is off his phone. Anyways, we'll focus on a live show.
Sorry, I was trying to look up some roster stuff on Oregon, and everybody still got last year's roster up. It's
Oh yeah, no, that happened. That happened Sunday night. I was looking at rosters, and it was still last year's.
like, what the fuck?
I know. I know. I did that Sunday night. I was looking up stuff, and I was like, "This is from last year." They didn't even remove the people.
No.
They just left them on there. I'm like, "What are we doing over here? What are we doing?"
ESPN's would be better. Nope, wrong.
No, all of them are the same. So anyways, yeah, with Stanford firing, or general manager Andrew Luck firing Troy Taylor, there was talk, and it's obviously at a very interesting time of the year because spring ball, the recruiting class is in, you have the spring transfer portal. Stanford's already lost players, obviously, because of it. And everyone's like, wow, what are they going to do? Well, Stanford, Andrew Luck's buddy,
Buffalo Bills legend,
decided to hire Reich for 1 year, though. 1 year only, apparently. Only 1 year. Not interim for 1 year to see if it goes well. Literally just 1 year, apparently.
Yeah.
Did not promote the OC or DC or anything like that. Literally just 1 year, he's done.
Yeah. And
that
well, I think that's just an interim deal anyways. And yes, it is the Andrew Luck.
That is the Stanford alum legend.
Yeah. And he was hired as GM like a couple of months right after the beginning of the year, I believe.
I'd have to double check. Yeah, I'd have to double check.
It's just been in the last couple of months. He was brought in to be GM because the other GM, I believe, was fired in accordance with the whole Troy Taylor situation. And so before they fired Troy Taylor, they got rid of the GM, brought Andrew Luck in because they wanted somebody with a little bit of clout. He doesn't know how long he's going to be there. He says it's basically on an interim basis as well. So,
for an interim basis, they've given him a power that no other GM has.
Yeah, just bizarre.
But that is because Andrew Luck
is Andrew Luck.
Yeah, legend. Yes, he's a Stanford legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Luck's a Stanford legend.
And Frank Reich and him, I think, are buddies, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, yeah, he played for Reich.
Yeah.
In the NFL. He left him a little high and dry, but I guess maybe this is a friend situation where Reich's not doing anything anyways. He's like, I'll come do this for a year and help you out. Cool. But a little weird. Definitely an odd situation.
Yeah. Last name I thought I was going to hear.
Right. Well, that brings us to the topic because a lot of people were like, well, of course they're going to go look at Will Stein. Everyone's going to look at Will Stein if he has another great offensive year as a coordinator this season. Of course, everyone's going to look at it. But no offensive coordinator was going to leave during spring ball to go take a job where you just fired your coach during spring ball.
No.
That's a death sentence.
if Oregon has another good offensive year and Dante has a breakout year and stuff, I could see Will Stein going to Stanford possibly very easily.
Next year, as of next year, if this rec thing is literally 1 year, I mean, Stanford would be stupid not to at least look at him. But also, if Andrew Luck is the GM, as to my knowledge, he's the full GM. He's not like, it's not temporary. To me, it's not temporary. I don't know. Maybe I haven't heard that. So, but it seems like Andrew Luck rather wants to take Stanford back to the Harbaugh and Shaw days of pro style, run it down your throat type of ball.
Yeah.
So that could be an interesting conflict. Stein is not quite that way. He's a little more this year because of the Big Ten, but I don't know if that's enough. But
it'd be interesting to see. I don't know how long. I thought Andrew Luck said he wasn't sure how long he was going to be there. I might have misheard that.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but maybe I missed that part of it too. Because as far as I'm aware, I mean, Andrew Luck's not doing anything anyway, so why not be your alma mater?
But it came out of nowhere.
And yet it still wasn't surprising. I mean, alum, that type of guy, successful NFL career minus injuries.
That's saying you're serious.
Yeah. So, and obviously he wants the football program to be successful again. He's had to watch it go downhill, dramatically. So,
yeah, very downhill.
So we figure, as much as I hate to say it and don't want it to be, after this next year, even if it's just a really decent year, nothing crazy, I think Stein pretty much, Will Stein's gone. I do think this next year he will take a coaching job somewhere. But who else do we have to worry about? We already lost Junior Adams to the same position for the Cowboys, but
yeah, I don't know. Dan did give a lot of his, and the university as well, gave a lot of his top assistants raises as well. Tosh Lapoy got a raise. I believe Stein got a raise. And Dan also, I believe, didn't he? They say that he said he was going to take a portion of his bonus and give it to all his coaches.
Maybe I don't recall that, but that's not uncommon either amongst a lot of head coaches to disperse some of the bonuses out. That's not uncommon, but like Lupoy, I'm not worried about. He doesn't seem to want to be a coach, like a head coach. Will Stein, I think, has the ambition. I don't know if that's enough, but 3 good years of being OC, 2, maybe 3 Heisman finalist quarterbacks if Dante has a good season, really good season, maybe he could have 3 in a row. That'd be something. I'm looking more at Chris Hampton, maybe. Now, whether taking a head coaching job or a full DC job, because he already got looked at this year.
Yes.
Briefly, and then he didn't either take the job or they decided to move on from that, so he's still there. But so Chris Hampton could go back to being a full-time DC somewhere.
Yeah, very possible.
I mean, what about Rashad Samples? He was almost going to take he was interviewed for the Sam Houston job.
Yep.
And then he didn't do it. And then the Cowboys tried to get him. He just like, nah.
Cowboys trying to get everybody. Shit.
Yeah, Cowboys, leave the Duck coaching staff alone. I'm telling you, damn it. Other than that, God, the only thing I could think of is say this O-line gets another Moore Award finalist status for the best O-line. Maybe the NFL tries to get a Leak Terry back.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I mean, hell, even Ross. No, I don't think Ross Douglas would go anywhere. Even though he's been in the NFL before, he's only been in college now. This would be his second full year in college, right? 1 year with Syracuse.
Third, I think.
Yeah, 1 year with Syracuse, I think, and then just 1 year with Syracuse, I think, and then now with us. So I don't think he would jump immediately. Maybe 2 or 3 good years. Maybe he'd go back to the NFL, but I don't think right now.
He's putting together a hell of a recruiting class. Although we did hear yesterday that Chris Henry has officially shut his recruiting down. He is 100% Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean that was
canceled his visits, etc., etc. So
that was going to be a tough flip either way.
Absolutely.
That was definitely, I don't even think it was 50-50. I think it was like 35-40 maybe kind of thing.
So, yeah.
And I don't even want to get into talking recruiting because Oregon's got some work to do coming up, but that's why we're going to have Spaz. Can we get a drum roll, please? The hell? What the hell type of drum roll was that? 2 weeks from tonight, we are going to have the Spring Game Bonanza show. That sounds so excited.
We will have everything from recruiting to visits to spring practice up to date and where we sit depth-wise and such going into the spring game 3 days later.
And hopefully a couple guests.
And hopefully a couple of guests. Yeah.
People that know much more than we do.
Yes.
Especially about recruiting. I can't keep up with all the recruiting.
I try. It's very hard.
Yeah. It changes daily.
Yeah.
It feels like it anyways. What?
Oh, shit.
Someone clip. That's going to become I'm clipping that as a short right now. I am telling you. It's done. It's already done. It's already uploaded.
Thank you, Megan. At least somebody cares around here.
It's just going to be the weirdest sneeze ever. And you.
Oh. So, yeah, we will good Megan. She's going to play it on live streams too, bitch.
That's not bad. Not a bad idea.
We're going to have Spencer McLaughlin Locked On Ducks.
Hopefully.
Not
holding it down.
But he has said he would be interested in. I've reached out also to Scoop Duck and On3 Max Torres, as well as official Eugene, Oregon sports guy that covers recruiting and the Ducks, both football and basketball, and is one of Dan Lanning's favorite reporters, James Crepia.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
So we'll see if we can get those gentlemen on. Like I told both of them, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you can give us, just on your analysis so far of spring ball, any recruiting news, et cetera, and where you think the depth sits at this point going into the spring game.
And I may surprisingly reach out to a couple more guys. We might have like a 6-person panel.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Talking all things spring ball from some of the favorite Oregon experts on YouTube. We'll see. We'll see.
Oregon experts on YouTube. There's only a couple of them.
They're not us.
You ain't bringing the traitor, are you?
What? One of our last 3 members?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he went on to bigger and better things, more money, but whatever.
Mods, ban her. We don't have mods in the chat. I'd have to open it up in a separate window, and I don't have the patience or time to do it. I can't do it through StreamYard.
He knows a couple. Oh, wait, I'm a mod. I can do it.
There you go. Timer out for like 10 seconds. Show her the power.
Maybe. I should be. Would it let me?
If you're not, I can make you one.
I should be.
Oh, but yeah, that'll be in.
You're lucky, Megan.
All right. We're gonna keep this brief tonight.
Yeah, we were.
And we that's why I wasn't worried. I was like, yeah, we got plenty of material over here. Free hot dogs, Mel Tucker, and Dion. You know, that took up 30 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 weeks, April 23rd, 3 days before the spring game, we'll have a panel.
We're gonna work on it. We're working on it. We got, again, commitment already, hopefully, and try to get at least 2 or 3 more. Really deep dive into the projection of the roster. Plus, some of that's going to come out too. More sites are going to come out with new projections.
And if we can get a former player or two that might want to come on and talk about their, what was it like playing in the spring game and being recruited,
Yeah, all good stuff. All good stories. We like that. We haven't had a player on since Vernon Adams.
Vernon, yeah.
So, well, then, so April 23rd, everyone, make sure to mark those calendars. However you do it, physically or in your digital notebook, whatever the hell it is.
Oh, and if you're in chat and you're a friend of this program and a friend of this channel, everybody in here, and if you watch the replay, go to your Twitter, X, and blow up Joey Harrington so that we can get Joey Harrington on this show to talk Oregon football. He's on every other show. We got to get him on the Oregon Live show once.
Would you prefer Joey Harrington or Jeff Schwartz?
I'd prefer Joey.
Okay.
I'll take Jeff, but...
Well, now Jeff's never coming on the show.
I mean, I tried a couple times last year and just never could get him to come on.
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal.
But he's a busy guy. I get it.
Yeah, he does so many.
So is Joey, but Joey's up here. And by God, I did get Joey to respond to a couple of my tweets last year, so there is that going for me.
If we got Yogi Roth, we can get Joey Harrington.
Maybe we get Yogi on again and get him to help us get Joey on here. That's an idea.
Leverage tactic.
Yeah. Yeah, we go back and look last year. I think it was
October, September.
It was right before season started.
So maybe mid-August, early September, something like that.
Late August, early September. I think right before the season started, we got Yogi on.
Somewhere in there. Very interesting conversation with Yogi Roth there.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, April 23rd, 3 days before the spring game, back here, hopefully with 2 or 3 people, if not more, even full panel maybe. Talk all things spring game experiences and all of the good things about it. Other than that, Spaz.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts there?
No, just getting geared up, starting to get excited for the spring game in a couple of weeks, and hoping the weather holds out. And yeah, I had a great time last year.
Yeah, look. The spring games are fun. I know. Everyone's like the spring games. It's just a glorified scrimmage. Yes, exactly. It's a glorified scrimmage, but you get to see your guys, your players, your team.
And you get prepped for tailgating season. It's the
That is
first
true.
one of the year.
That's true too. As everyone says, yeah, we go, we eat, we drink, we tailgate, we drink some more. We go in the game for a while. We go drink more. It's fun.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
then we
spring
go
game.
home.
That's the spring
Yep.
game. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I had a great time last year. Shit.
I think most people generally, for the most part, if you're watching like on TV or streamer, most people stop watching after like 25 minutes. They just kind of forget it's on, and then we just go watch highlights later.
Yep.
Like, no offense to the third string guys or whatever, but yeah. Well, then Spaz, can you appropriately and correctly point and tell people where they can stalk you if they want to? Yeah. So good.
Right there. At Sean Spazdrag on X. At the Rocky Classic on TikTok. Also at on Instagram, Rocky Classic on Instagram. Yeah. And I'm on Discord too. So I'm in a couple of Discord. I'm in an Oregon Discord and a couple others. We do have an Oregon Discord channel too, Ben. I'll send you the link.
Nice. It was almost like you were a pro there. You actually got it pretty easy. I'm gonna try.
Right.
I'm gonna try to outdo you though, because I'm just Ben of Exploring with Ben and Sam right here on YouTube, and you can also follow me right there, Exploring with Ben and Sam on Twitter.
Wrong way.
It wasn't the wrong way.
Your finger was pointed towards me.
No, it wasn't the wrong way. I practiced while you were talking. I went like this, just to make sure I wasn't having some issues again, because I always point the wrong way. So, yeah, April 23rd, everyone. We'll be back in a couple weeks as I will be moving, so next week will be a little
hectic.
Yeah, finishing all the setup in the new location. So,
see, even Megan caught it.
Whatever. Megan's in Australia. It's a fake place. Anyways,
good to see you, Megan.
I'm getting that political stuff, and she's a Trojan fan, so that's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
She can't even spell it right. It's those big titties getting away the keyboard.
Oh my God. Okay. April 23rd, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. And if you haven't, please do hit that like button. Consider subscribing. And
it was nice knowing you, because Mark's going to kick us off the show now.
He walked into us talking about Mel Tucker. I think we're okay. Everyone, have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Quack.
Quack.
Quack, quack.